Hello, welcome to morning meditation. I'm Alexandra Purdy, and I'm sorry I've been meditating by myself for a few minutes. I thought I was live and I wasn't, so I'm just getting used to this platform. Today's meditation is on gratitude and savoring the good, and I have a poem that fits the bill. This is by Jane Kenyon, and it's called Coming Home at Twilight in Late Summer. We turned into the drive, and gravel flew up from the tires like sparks from a fire. So much to be done: the unpacking, the mail and papers, the grass needed mowing. We climbed stiffly out of the car. The shut-off engine ticked as it cooled. And then we noticed the pear tree, the limbs so heavy with fruit they nearly touched the ground. We went out to the meadow. Our steps made black holes in the grass, and we each took a pear and ate and were grateful. I'm going to come back to this poem because it highlights some of the important parts of gratitude and savoring, I think. But first, let's start our meditation practice. So come into a comfortable position. You can either sit or lie down. I'm sitting on a meditation cushion here. I'll just show you. Can you see? Meditation cushions. You can sit on a pillow. It helps to have your hips slightly elevated. You can also lay down if that feels comfortable for you. I know some people use these meditations to help them to sleep, and I fully support that. I don't know if you can hear the wind and rain outside. I live in Northern California, and it has been raining cats and dogs for weeks. So apologies if you can hear that. All right, so I'm going to close my eyes, and I welcome you to join me if that feels comfortable to you. So let's take a deep breath and notice where you are in time and space. Feel your body resting on the earth, and notice the sensations in your body where it comes in contact with whatever you're sitting or lying down on. You might feel pressure or tingling, the weight of gravity. We're just noticing. There's no right answer. Let's imagine we have a tiny string attached to the top of our head, pulling us ever so slightly taller, straighter. And notice if that adjustment has any effect on how you're feeling. We can put a half smile on our lips and notice that too. See if that gives you any even minute change in how you're feeling. Now let's take a few moments to notice our breath. Let's breathe in through our nose, out through our mouth. And see if you can extend your exhale to be a little bit longer than your inhale. Scientists have found that breathing in this way has a soothing effect on our nervous system. So notice if you detect any hint of that in your own system. And if so, sort of tuck that tool away in your pocket because it's helpful to know tools we can use to soothe our nervous systems. All kinds of things in the course of our day can throw us off and get our nervous system on high alert. And when that's the case, it's really helpful to have tools to calm our nervous system back down. And so this is one that you can use at any time, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, extending your out breath to be a little bit longer than your in breath. Next, let's do some belly breathing. We put our hand on our belly and focus on breathing into your belly, your diaphragm, so that you feel your hand rise and fall with your breath. This too has a soothing effect on the nervous system. So notice if you feel any hint of that. Now you have two tools you can use to calm your nervous system down whenever it's heightened or elevated. They also taught belly breathing to kids on Sesame Street a few years ago, so it's a tool that even young children can use, and you can teach the young kids in your life. Next, let's take a moment to focus on our senses. Our minds can be in a million places at once, including the past and the future, but our bodies can only ever be right here and now. So let's focus on the information we're getting from our senses about where we are in the present moment. First, let's notice our sense of touch. If your feet are touching the ground, notice the feeling there. Maybe you can feel the texture of the floor or carpet beneath you. Maybe you can feel your clothing on your skin or a breeze on your face. Maybe you can feel your hair on your neck. Just notice what you can feel right now. Next, notice what you can hear. You hear my voice. Perhaps you can hear the rain behind me or the wind where you are. Maybe you hear the gentle hum of heat or air conditioning or gentle hum of a refrigerator or other machinery. Maybe you hear cars outside. Just notice what you can hear right now. Next, let's notice what we can smell. Maybe there's a candle lit, the smell of food or coffee in the air. Maybe you don't notice a smell at all, and it's just worth noting. Next, let's notice what we can taste. Maybe the last thing you ate or drank. Maybe you can taste the remnants of toothpaste or mouthwash. Next, we're going to slowly open our eyes. Don't focus on anything too intently. Just sort of scan the room, noticing colors and textures, light and shadow, and then close your eyes again. See what you can remember that you just saw. Any colors or textures that remain in your mind after you close your eyes, any light or shadow that struck you as you opened your eyes. And notice how you feel now that we've focused on our senses. Notice if you feel like maybe you've slowed down just a tiny bit. And if so, this is another tool you can use at any time to ground you back into the present moment, to bring you back to this instant, the moment where all our power resides. Next, let's focus on gratitude, on things that we're feeling grateful for right now. And I once heard Maya Angelou say that we need gratitude the most when things feel the hardest. And when I first heard her say that, I didn't understand what she meant. How are we supposed to be grateful when things were hard? But then I started a gratitude practice and noticed that no matter what was going on, I could find things to be grateful for. And when I realized that, it really shifted things for me because I realized that I could focus on gratitude at any time, and that when things were hard and I had come up with a list of things to feel grateful for, it really did have a buoying effect on me. So let's focus on some things we're grateful for, and bonus points if they're tiny. These do not need to be big things like a new job or a new home or anything like that. It could be that you had a great cup of coffee this morning, or you had a good conversation with a friend this week, even over text. Maybe someone sent you a meme that cracked you up. Maybe it's raining where you are and you enjoy the sound of rain. So let's come up with a list of 3 to 5 things that you're feeling grateful for right now. And bonus points if most of these are very small things, not necessarily things you'd write home about, but things that you notice made a difference in your day. Maybe someone said something kind to you. Maybe you said something kind to someone else. Maybe you're reading a great book or watching a TV show you're enjoying. Maybe you had a great meal and made something you really enjoy. Maybe you were able to be creative at some point this week. Maybe Maybe you read a poem that touched you. Notice now how gratitude feels in your body. Notice if you felt any internal shift from noticing things that you feel grateful for. And if you're able to sort of name a way that you notice you feel a little bit differently, even better. Just as an aside, meditation, my prompts are never an invitation for you to judge your experience. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. We're just noticing. So never use these prompts as a way to judge yourself or, make yourself feel bad about your experience. That's not what we're here to do. We're just here to notice. And so if I offer a prompt and you don't notice anything, no problem. Just wait for the next prompt. Just notice your breath. Also, if your mind wanders at some point, also not an invitation to judge yourself. This is what meditation is. This is why meditation is a practice. We bring ourselves back to the moment again and again. But really all it is continuing to bring yourself back to the moment. So now that we've noticed a few things that we're grateful for, let's talk about savoring. And I'm going to read the poem that I read before and point out some of the ways that the poet is, what she's doing is both being grateful and savoring a good moment in this poem. We turned into the drive, and gravel flew up from the tires like sparks from a fire. So much to be done. The unpacking, the mail and papers, the grass needed mowing. We climbed stiffly out of the car. The shut-off engine ticked as it cooled. So that whole stanza points out what I was just saying. This isn't a perfect moment. The grass needs to be mowed. There's a lot to do. There's unpacking, which is no one's favorite thing. So that stanza points out, like, this isn't a perfect moment, but it's a moment where we're noticing details. And that's part of what savoring is. Okay, the next stanza. And then we noticed the pear tree. The limbs so heavy with fruit they nearly touched the ground. We went out to the meadow. Our steps made black holes in the grass, and we each took a pear and ate and were grateful. So part of what savoring is just really noticing the details, really enjoying a good moment. And that's what she's doing in this paragraph, or stanza. We noticed the pear tree, the limbs so heavy with fruit they nearly touched the ground. We went out to the meadow. Our steps made black holes in the grass. So she's noticing details about a lovely moment. That the pears were so big and ripe that the limbs of the tree were nearly touching the ground. And noticing the color of the holes their steps made in the grass. What's happening when you're savoring is you're really bringing yourself fully into the moment and noticing as much as you can about it. So I mentioned it's been raining just almost incessantly for weeks here. And a few days ago, so I should tell you, savor is my my word for 2023. I really want to focus on savoring the good. Because life always brings us challenges. It's just That's what life does. So when the good comes, I really want to notice it. So a few days ago, the sun was going down and it had been raining almost all day. But I noticed there was a streak in the sky where there was color. It was like the sunset was behind all these gray clouds. And you could see just a bright streak of color across the sky. And it wasn't very big. But I went over the window and I was really trying to notice the color and notice how great it felt to see even a hint of sun for a few minutes. And I called my husband over to the window with me and I was like, look at that. And it was small. I mean, this is how bad the weather's been lately here. But we took that moment and we noticed. We noticed the color and noticed the light and shared it together. And that's savoring, taking a good moment and noticing as many details about it as you can, really giving yourself to that moment, bringing all your attention to it, and seeing what you notice, noticing what you feel. And the more detail you notice about something, the more of an impression it makes on your system. This is part of why poetry really touches us, because it's about noticing detail. So let's see if we can savor this moment. Here we are meditating. We've taken a quiet moment to soothe our nervous systems, to come back to the present moment. Let's see if we can savor it. Notice how it feels to have given yourself this moment, to come back to yourself. This gift that you're giving to yourself and to your nervous system, to your body. Notice how it feels to feel your seat on the ground, to feel yourself held by the earth. Notice how it feels to hear my voice. Maybe that feels soothing. Notice how it feels to keep bringing yourself back to the present moment. And next time something good happens, you can focus on seeing how many details about it you can notice. See what giving your attention fully to something for just a moment or two, the effect that it has. One thing I've noticed is that when I savor something, I remember it for longer. In fact, in my head, since savor is my word of the year, I'm sort of keeping like a running list of some of the things that I've savored. And I remember them better because I savored them. So among the things I've savored are a long, hot shower, that streak of sunset I just described. I've savored a podcast I really enjoyed and then shared it with a few people, which also helps to keep the savoring going if you can share it with someone. As I mentioned, sharing that moment watching the streak of sunset with my husband. So you'll notice too, none of these are huge life events. They are just a shower might happen multiple times in a day. Um, it's really just taking a good moment and squeezing all the juice out of it. Let's come back to our breath again. Notice where you feel your breath most acutely in your body right now. Maybe you notice it in your nostrils or your chest, your belly. Maybe you feel your body breathing as one whole entity. Just notice where you're feeling your breath right now. No right answer. And let's watch our breath for a moment. Watch it come in and out of your body. Watch it the way you'd watch waves rolling in and out from the ocean. Just notice how one might differ from the last. Notice its length or its depth, how it feels inside your body. The breath, too, keeps us anchored in the present moment, and it's something we have with us all the time, so it's something we can come back to at any moment. Just noticing the great gift we have of our breath. It means we're alive. It means we're here. Right where we are in this present moment. I'm going to read the poem one last time. Notice if it strikes you any differently now that you've heard it a few times and now that we've meditated, and hopefully your body feels a little bit relaxed. Coming Home at Twilight in Late Summer by Jane Kenyon. We turned into the drive, and gravel flew up from the tires like sparks from a fire. So much to be done. The unpacking, the mail and papers, the grass needed mowing. We climbed stiffly out of the car. The shut-off engine ticked as it cooled, and then we noticed the pear tree, the limbs so heavy with fruit they nearly touched the ground. We went out to the meadow. Our steps made black holes in the grass, and we each took a pear and ate, and were grateful. I wish you many moments of gratitude and savoring the good. You can come back to this video at any time for a refresher to be walked through the steps. I'm grateful for your time. I thank you for being here with me. I will be doing these live meditations every other Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And I look forward to having you here again with me. Thanks so much for being here.